So as a introduction to this meditation, I want to mention briefly a custom that I've had, and that is to be inspired by looking at old photographs of people. Maybe photographs that are well over maybe 120 years old. And so none of the people in the photograph are alive, but in a high resolution ancient photograph sometimes I'm drawn to the faces, in particular to the eyes. And sometimes you see an expression of the moment on the face, and more impactful for me, occasionally you see a glint in the eye, you see a spark of life, of being aware of consciousness in the eye. For a long time I was drawn to these photographs not knowing why. And then one day I realized the reason is that the recognition that the photograph was taken at a moment when that person was alive and conscious. That was their time to be aware, their time to be conscious, to be alive. And this is my time, as I was watching, this is my time to be conscious, to be aware. And this amazing capacity we have to be aware, to be conscious, that we often overlook because we're usually concerned with what we are aware of, what we're conscious of. But the mere fact that we're conscious, the complicated, perhaps sophisticated, amazing way in which the universe knows itself, if we are intimately arising out of this marvelous universe, somehow the universe evolved to form a consciousness that we are. So to sit and meditate, resting in that consciousness, appreciating it, trusting it, more than trusting what we're aware of, or more than fixing what we're conscious of, or adjusting it, or making something better, but rather to tune into and open up to the very fact that we're conscious, and to feel, to sense, maybe even to be amazed at this phenomena that only exists in the living moment of now. And this is our moment to be conscious. Maybe we don't want to miss it. So to take a meditative posture, and to take a meditative posture and to gently close your eyes. And take a few moments to gently breathe more deeply and to relax into your body as you exhale. To gently, with a gentling effect, gently relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the chest and the heart center. Relaxing the belly. relaxing, yielding into the place that supports your body, the chair, your cushion, wherever your body is resting on. As you exhale, feel the support of that. And also perhaps softening, relaxing your face. And then letting your breathing be normal. Bring your attention to inside, behind your forehead, between your ears, place where we say the brain is. And feel whatever is there. If any pressure, tension, feeling of substantiality, energy, agitation, feelings of spaciousness or stillness, or perhaps you feel nothing. But as if that part of your body is a muscle, as you exhale, can you relax the whole area between your ears? Maybe imagining that the whole area between your ears is like a lake with waves, and as the wind dies down, as the lake relaxes, the waves calm down and the lake spreads wide and calm. And then without any sense of trying, in the space kind of between your ears, allow hearing to happen. Not that you're actively listening. If you find yourself trying to hear, can you relax the trying and be content to notice the sounds that come on their own? If you find yourself thinking, perhaps you can let them let go or let them recede so you can better hear. If any tension builds up in the hearing, as you exhale, can you soften and relax that? Kind of like you're just opening the windows in the mind for sounds to come. Maybe even without any sense of inside and outside, sounds just appear. Sounds appear in awareness. And what arises, what sounds arise that you do not expect, do not manufacture, that arise effortlessly, without any effort on your part. If you are relaxed, awareness is aware without effort. If you let go of trying to be aware, awareness will be there. You will be conscious. And if now you open that awareness more broadly to include your body, without any effort or directing of the mind, just opening the windows to whatever experience arises in awareness. Letting go of thinking, letting go of trying, trusting it's enough to let consciousness operate on its own. If you find yourself thinking, see if you can let go of that in favor of open awareness. If you find yourself trying, let go of the trying. Let go of doing. Of all doing except allowing awareness to be open to whatever arises in it. With no inside, no outside. Just consciousness doing its own thing. Consciousness being conscious. letting go of the effort to think, letting go of any extra effort in favor of allowing consciousness to be open, receptive, consciousness doing its own thing, being conscious, with no effort from us. Distinct, quite distinct from any effort you're making to be aware, or any effort you're making at all. There are things that come into consciousness effortlessly. A new sound, a new sensation that's unexpected. In the first moment, it's simply there. This is part of the miracle of consciousness, that experiences arise in consciousness without any effort from us. when the first unexpected sensation or sound arises in the mind, or even a thought. Perhaps sometimes you can recognize that it arises before your preferences, your ideas about it, being for or against. When it just first arises effortlessly, stay close to that effortless place where awareness operates, consciousness operates, without any effort on our part, and operates better when we relax our effort, let go of trying, let go of thinking. And then as we come to the end of this sitting, imagine that with effortless consciousness, awareness, that just allows things to arise and be there, without reaction, without being for or against. Imagine that a person stands in front of you. Nothing is needed from you, but you allow consciousness to experience, to take in this person. And you're experiencing the person without your preferences and bias and fears and wants and aversions. It's safe just to be aware. For awareness, consciousness, to be aware of this person. And what's it like to experience, be with a person this way? And perhaps this open awareness of another. Imagine that you're safe. Nothing's being asked of you. But it opens a channel, opens a door for your goodwill. For a simplest form of friendliness or caringness or warmth or a tenderness for this person. And then to bring up consciously and with some little bit of effort ways of thinking about a person having goodwill, having friendly thoughts, friendly sentiments and feelings, well-wishing for this person. May this person be well, safe and happy and free. And so as we end this sitting, perhaps there's someone in your life today, someone you'll meet, someone you'll communicate with, someone you'll read about in the news, some person, a stranger, someone And maybe there's a way in which the meditation practice today can inspire you to be present in a little fuller way, open way, allowing the person to be themselves. You just being conscious. And then maybe beginning to awaken your goodwill, your kindness and care for this person, your tenderness. It may be that our meditation practice today inspires us to explore how we can go into the world today to bring more friendliness, more care, more love, more kindness into a world that needs it, into a world that would benefit from much more of it. May our meditation practice today contribute to the welfare and happiness of all beings. May all beings be happy. May all beings be safe. May all beings be free. So, good morning. And in continuing this series of talks on the Eightfold Path, today we come into right mindfulness, the seventh factor of the path. And with all these factors, they are somehow they're directly expression, a manifestation, an orientation based on right view. And so right mindfulness, for someone who doesn't really have a taste yet of some kind of inner freedom, right mindfulness would be based on the notion, the idea of being mindful of in a way that's wholesome or skillful, and to avoid being mindful in a way that's unskillful, unwholesome. So to avoid having mindfulness that's mixed up in greed for spiritual experiences, ambition to become the next great human savior through being a meditator, not free of kind of aversion and hostility towards anything, like I have to get rid of something and that's a bad part of me and I want to kind of overcome it and push it away. But rather a form of awareness that is looking to be simple, without a lot of desires that are mixed in, that it's without any ill will, without any wanting to cause harm, hopefully without any conceit. So kind of finding, where is that? For someone who has a taste of freedom, they know a little bit what that is like. free of aversion, greed, conceit, they have a taste of that. And it's that taste that kind of helps us to find, oh, this is how mindfulness is. This is possible to be aware of experience in a simple, friendly, open, non-aggressive kind of way. And then we try to build and expand that awareness so it becomes bigger and stronger. In the teachings of mindfulness by the Buddha, in a discourse called the Discourse on the Four Foundations of Mindfulness, the momentum of mindfulness as it builds and expands and becomes more inclusive is kind of as the mindfulness becomes, the word for mindfulness in Buddhist language is sati, S-A-T-I, and it develops to become something called pati sati, P-A-T-I-S-A-T-I. And Bhikkhu Bodhi translates, the great translator, he translates pati sati sometimes as lucid awareness, which I also like to use as a translation. And lucid in the sense that it's just, we know we're aware. The awareness, the consciousness is strong enough that we're not blinded or lost in what we're aware of. Of course, we mostly have to be aware of something, but there's two things. There's the thing that we're aware of and the awareness. And if what we're aware of is like if something dangerous, suddenly we're going to be more involved in focusing on the danger than the fact that we're aware. But there's many times when we are lost in what we're aware of, lost in thought, for example, so much so it's almost like we're not aware anymore. There is awareness, but it's all kind of been sucked into the world of thinking. And mindfulness practice is a little bit reclaiming that awareness so that it's not lost to us. And so that when we're thinking, for example, we know we're thinking. When we're looking at a sunset, not only is the sunset beautiful, we appreciate it, but also we know we're aware. When we're breathing, we're aware of breathing, but there's a way that it's so obvious that we know we're breathing, so obvious that we're aware of breathing, that we don't consciously think, oh, now I'm aware. But it's clear. Someone asks you afterwards, you say, yes, I was clearly aware. It's like almost like the act of being aware, the phenomena of being aware, is as clear as what we're aware of. Now these two things are said to arise together, so you can't have one without the other. But to have this lucid awareness, lucid here means awareness that we know we're aware. Awareness is almost like a thing in itself. It's something you can know in and of itself. And to then rest in that awareness, to be with it. And so the momentum in freedom, mindfulness that has a taste of freedom, a hint of freedom, is that we want to expand that freedom into that awareness, so it's less constrained, defined by our greed, our hatred, our delusion, less limited, less hijacked by our conceit or our ambition or our despair, our sadness, our anger. And so this amazing capacity for awareness to grow and expand and change our life radically without changing anything in the life. So say that I'm really greedy for something, and I'm lost in that greed, and I'm planning to get it and want to get it, and then I practice mindfulness, and I become aware, oh, I'm greedy. Wow, I didn't know I was so greedy. This is what greedy is like. And then I feel the greed, how it affects on my body, that I'm all tense and tight, and I'm a little bit like, a foot in front of my body, ready to go to the store to get this thing that I so much want. And so slowly the mindfulness becomes stronger and stronger. And at some point, the mindfulness begins, I feel, oh, there's freedom here. Yes, I can have greed, but there's freedom in relationship to it. It just becomes an object of awareness. I don't use it to define myself. I don't use it to as an object of aversion or hostility. And over time, that awareness can keep growing and growing and growing. And it's just such a beautiful thing, such a profound, peaceful, inspiring place to be in this field of being aware. And maybe the greed hasn't really gone away. It's still there. But now I feel at peace. And this is part of the amazing thing about this practice, is we don't necessarily have to get rid of anything or change anything to find our peace, our happiness and well-being. We discover it when the awareness of it becomes free. And I think one of the wonderful metaphors for this in the Buddhist tradition is the lotus that grows up out of muddy water. It definitely arises from the mud, but then when it blossoms, the lotus blossoms are completely clean and pure and shiny, untouched by the mud, but they flower above the mud. So in the same way, awareness, as it gets stronger, no longer is touched by that greed I had. Just the awareness is there. It's like the lotus has blossomed. Or if there's hatred, or if there is despair, or if there's sadness, or depression even, difficult states of mind for sure, very difficult. If there's fear, very difficult. But as the mindfulness gets stronger, all those states don't have to go away. You don't have to fix them or solve them. We're not defined by them anymore. And they are there, and awareness is here. And awareness is so much bigger, in a sense. The mind becomes so much more than the particular state that we have. And the mind is not being defined by those states. When we're preoccupied with greed or hatred or depression or sadness or even good states of mind, preoccupied by enthusiasm or excited joy, it's kind of like the mind, we kind of become organized or defined around that. But as the mindfulness becomes free and more open, then all those states can be there, but it's kind of like there's something more wonderful here. We are conscious. We are aware. And so two forms of mindfulness. Mindfulness that we just engage with and learn to practice with in a wholesome way. It's a wonderful thing to do. It's a wonderful practice and wonderful engagement. And it's the mindfulness that is really part and parcel of the tastes, the initial experiences of freedom that we have. Both of them are moving towards the same place, to become more and more lucid in the awareness, more and more present in consciousness, this amazing capacity to be conscious. And so the saying, the little cliche that's in the Vipassana world, is that the practice of mindfulness is not to see something new, but to see in a new way. Not to look for something new, but to see what's here in a new way, with clarity, with clear recognition. So I'll continue now for next days to talk about mindfulness in these 7 a.m. sittings. Probably tomorrow I'll talk about different characteristic or different forms of attention that come into play as we do mindfulness practice. And then we'll go on in different aspects of this important practice next week. So thank you for being here, and I hope that in the next, today or the next 24 hours, that you you get curious about consciousness, being aware, and how awareness can operate effortlessly. And if you start discovering the effortless operation of awareness, maybe you'll begin to get a glimmer of there's freedom there as well. Freedom from effort, freedom from self, freedom from trying. Just this amazing thing to be aware. And may your awareness bring you much freedom and much delight, and maybe even a sense of awe, wonder, the wonder of being conscious. Thank you.